Have you ever noticed that people are so quick to tell you to cut off certain people and places and things that don't resonate with you if it's causing you to feel disturbed or distracted? Like, I totally agree with this and I recommend, but I don't think anybody has ever told you that sometimes it's not the people and the places and things that are distractions and that you need to cut off, but a lot of times it's you. You wouldn't be distracted if you didn't allow yourself to be distracted. And that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So welcome and welcome back. It is your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. And yeah, let's get into it. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then that means it's not aligned, which means it is not for you, so don't force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. For the month of May, we have been going over and discussing how nothing in life is going to stay the same and how life is going to go on, which means you're going to change and you're going to evolve. But in today's video specifically, we're going to talk about how you need to cut yourself off, how sometimes you need to outgrow, not even sometimes, how you need to let go and outgrow a version of you that no longer exists in order for you to elevate, evolve, and be the person that you want to be, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, and some disclaimers, and just certain things that you need to be aware of. So starting off with the introduction, starting off the first disclaimer, you have to cut off yourself, the parts of you and the version of you that is draining you. Like, when you heal yourself, when you elevate, when you evolve, you realize what was not working and what's for you and what's not. Like, yes, you have a past. The only time I recommend that you worry about your past is when you are self-reflecting and you've realized the cause and effects. And that's going to be part of the recommendations. But it's like, once you get to a certain part of your healing journey or your life, and as you are expanding, you realize what's in your control and what's not. Like, that comes with wisdom and experience. And it doesn't matter your race or your gender. So you could be a they, a he, she, we, G, LGBTQ2, I, 1, 2, 3. You could be black, you can be white, you can be Asian, you can be Hispanic. Like, you have to realize that as you go through life, you're going to experience it. And as you experience life, you're going to realize what makes you happy. You're going to realize what makes you mad. You're going to realize what makes you sad. And you're going to realize what's in your control and what's not. And that's going to be part of the second disclaimer. As you're living your life for the first time as you're going to realize what's draining you. You're going to realize what's uplifting you. You're going to realize what's disturbing you. You're going to realize what's distracting you. Once you start to have this discernment, once you start to realize how certain things make you feel, you're going to remove yourself from it. You're going to stop engaging. Now, of course, when you're learning to separate yourself and cutting certain things out that no longer serve you, it is going to require your effort. It is going to require energy. It is going to require you to become committed, because you're not going to be able to see the changes if you don't become consistent, if you don't lock in. So the third disclaimer is knowing that when you're letting go of certain versions of you and certain parts of you, it's so important to validate it. It's so important to honor it. Like, a lot of people are embarrassed and ashamed of their past, and a lot of people will compare their past to certain people, places, and things, and not realizing that you went through the things that you went through for a reason. And nobody is you. And the beauty of our past is to realize that, okay, there were certain things maybe I was proud of. There are certain things that you had to learn from. There's certain things that you knew. There's some things that you didn't. It's okay. A lot of times we have been programmed and taught to think a certain type of way. And a lot of times it's not always for our best interest. Or sometimes it is. Like, you blaming certain people and places and things doesn't change the fact that you went through the trials and tribulations. Doesn't change the fact that you grew up in poverty. Doesn't change the fact that you grew up around narcissists. Doesn't change the fact that you were touched on. Doesn't change the fact that you were beaten on. Doesn't change the fact that you had people withhold support. Doesn't change the fact that you didn't have running water. Doesn't change the fact that whatever trials and tribulations that you experienced, it happened. And I'm telling you from experience, what has helped me along my healing journey was to realize certain things happened to me because maybe I didn't have the wisdom. Maybe because I didn't have the parents. Maybe I didn't have the support. Maybe I didn't have the friends. Maybe I was too reserved. Maybe whatever it was, that's fine. As long as you realize that you don't have to continue to live the way you used to live, you will be able to see the results and become better, but you're not going to see it immediately. And that's the first recommendation. You have to realize that when you're letting go, when you're cutting off old mindsets, when you're cutting off old behaviors, it's going to take time. And the reason why it takes time is because if it took you, let's just say 10 years to believe something, and now all of a sudden you want to change that belief, if you're not like confident, or if you don't have a certain level of conviction, like if you don't have faith, if you're somebody who is like insecure or has trust issues, it's going to take you time to regain that certain level of knowing, to have that certain level of trust within yourself or whatever it is that you believe in. Like if you grew up around people who made you like question yourself, you learning how to become confident is going to take time, because you're used to people gaslighting you. You're used to people trying to dim your light. You're used to people making you feel bad. You're used to narcissists. That's the same thing with poverty. If you grew up in poverty, you're used to people living paycheck to paycheck. You're used to living around people who are frugal in a negative way, not a positive way. You're used to people who are tight or have scarcity when it comes to money. Like same thing when it comes to, let's just say you're not somebody who's confident, which is similar to the first recommendation. Or like if you grew up and you were bullied, like you're used to people making you feel insecure. Like with me, I witnessed a lot of insecure people, so I grew up around a lot of people who were miserable. So it's like, for me personally, I've, like I said, been fortunate and very blessed to not like become like the people, but I've had to learn at an early age, like just because other people around me were miserable doesn't mean that I'm about to be one of them, because I didn't want to be one of them, because I've witnessed it so much as like a child. So it's just like a lot of times we have to just learn from certain things that we've gone through, like instead of being so hard on ourselves. And that's going to be the first recommendation. And the last disclaimer, like, yeah, you went through the things that you went through, but it's like you can't change it. So the best thing is to learn from it and decide if you want to continue to resonate with it, or is it something that you just want to separate yourself from. And just because you separate yourself, like just because I didn't want to be around miserable people doesn't make me a bad person. Like the only people who feel like, oh, I'm better than them, or I'm on a pedestal, or I'm something that I'm not, or who try to like create narratives about me, which I've also dealt with too, are people I don't want to be associated with. Like, why would I want to be your friend or your family or work with you or date you when you allow people to speak negatively about me, or you create narratives, even with people online? Why would I want you to be a part of my community and subscribe to my platform when you are willing to misinterpret what I'm saying? You're willing to judge me like based off of how I look, or you know what I'm saying, like just stuff that's just so minute. So the first recommendation is just knowing that you have to figure out who you are in order for you to cut off certain things that you don't like. And the best way to do this on your notes and in the comment section is to make like a pros and a cons list. Like the same way you make pros and cons lists for that boy or that girl or that job or that opportunity, is the same way you need to make a pros and cons list with yourself. And I'm gonna do the same thing, you guys. So I'm gonna make a pros and cons list with my notes, because I watch my own videos, I take my own advice because it works. And I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'll get my pen and paper, because I don't have a pen and paper in front of me. I'm gonna get my notes and I'm gonna make a list. And on this list, we're gonna have pros and we're gonna have cons. And on your pros, you're gonna write down the things that you like about yourself, what you love about yourself, what you're excited of, what you're proud of. And then you're going to make a list of things that you don't like about yourself. And the reason why this is the first recommendation is because you need to know, like, okay, what do I need to be doing? What I don't need to be doing? Who do I need to be focusing on? Who do I need to avoid? What do I need to be engaging with? What do I need to pull back from? Once you figure out what you like and what you don't like about yourself, you can start implementing those things. You can start experiencing the things that you want, and you can start avoiding things. So therefore, when people you don't like, or when people you don't agree with or not in alignment with you try to say something to you or get you to react or respond, you don't feel that type of way. I'm speaking from experience. What has helped me along my healing journey was to realize a lot of the people who felt some type of way or wanted me to react and respond or cared more about me more than I cared about them, I didn't want to like. And it's not because they're all evil people. It's just I know like I'm not compatible with them, and that's okay. Like the things that I personally like to do, they don't like to do. And I don't want to be around people where I have to watch what I say. I have to watch how I look. No. Like, yes, in a relationship and when you meet people, it's important to compromise. But when you're compromising in relationships, it needs to be mutual. Because yes, you're not always going to agree with every person. You're not always going to be in line with people. But if you want it to work, both of you all have to want it to work, and both of you all have to be able to accept people for how they are. So for me, when it comes to people that I'm personally in intimate relationships with, yes. If not, if you're a stranger, I don't have to give you the time of day, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to be okay with having certain standards and certain boundaries. Not everyone can afford them. Not everyone is going to be in alignment with you. Once again, this doesn't make them bad or evil people. It's just not for you. And once you realize your boundaries and your standards and what's non-negotiable with you, you can realize what you need to focus on. And when you start focusing on the things that make you feel good, everything else, it doesn't matter. And you'll know it's a distraction. You know it's not for you. You know it's draining you. Like, you don't have to continue to cut off certain people, places, and things once you cut off certain habits and mindsets and beliefs. So the third recommendation is just, when you're making this pros and cons list and you're being selective and intentional and you're being thoughtful amongst yourself, you do need to reassure yourself with affirmations, with confirming what it is that you believe in. So if you know you want to live a certain type of life, if you know you want to do certain things, if you know you want to experience a certain reality, as well as like engaging and putting in the work and being mindful, you need to remind yourself on why you want the things that you want. So the affirmations are just to reassure you, like, what's the reason? Like, if you don't have a reason on why you want to do certain things or you want to become a certain person, you may not put the time, energy, and effort into it to accomplish it. And that's the reason why sometimes you struggle with making this necessary changes and cutting off old beliefs. So like, if you are somebody who used to be negative and now all of a sudden you want to be positive, you need to know why you want to be positive. You need to understand how that's going to make you feel. Because once you understand how it's going to make you feel and why you want to be positive, you will start to implement those things. And everything that makes you feel negative, you'll cut it off. Like, what we focus on grows. This is why even with this platform, is everyone wanting to heal themselves and be confident and be loving and authentic? No. So it's like, when people have negative things to say on the blogs or on social media or just in real life, it's unnecessary. And honestly, those people are delusional. And I'm not afraid to say it. Like, worrying about people, places, and things that don't make you feel good about yourself is only going to bother you. It's only going to disturb you. And it's only going to hinder you. And that's the fourth recommendation. The longer you surround yourself with people, places, and things who do not make you feel good, the longer you're going to struggle and suffer or feel like there's something wrong with you. And I know from experience, once again, I grew up around a lot of miserable people. I witnessed a lot of envy. I witnessed a lot of insecure people. And it's not just to point the finger, but when I was younger, like most people, you didn't get to decide where you live. Like I said, were taught and shown and programmed to think and believe certain things. It wasn't until I was able to obviously be my own person and grow up and, move out and experience and travel that I realized what I wanted for myself. And just because I didn't want certain things that certain people in my family or certain people I went to school with or things that I once was familiar with made me a bad person or made them less of people, it was just, it's okay to grow. It's not for you. So instead of me being angry about certain people, places, and things, and people even me being focused or talking about people being miserable, just realizing that not everything's for everybody. And once I was able to cut off certain things that I didn't like about myself or things that I didn't want for myself, I didn't have to worry about it. So therefore, when I dealt with, because people are going to be annoying. People are going to, like, they need attention. People do need help. People are mentally disabled. There are delusional people in this world. But like, for me, instead of, like I said, being mean to the people who wanted me to be miserable, or me being quick to go off or curse or fight or hoot and holler and do all this extra stuff, I just realized, like, let me just avoid these people. And if I have to speak to them, keep it to a minimum. If not, just be respectful. Because it's like, when you're respectful to yourself, other people, they're either going to respect you or they're going to remove themselves. Because if not, they're just going to look like fans. And sometimes some people are fans. Like, some people, like I said, like, you'll be surprised. There are a lot of people in this world who are fans. And like, being a fan is not a bad thing, but it's not healthy to worry about people who don't want to worry about you. So worry about yourself. So therefore, you don't have to worry about people and places and things that are not for you. And be honest. It's okay that you don't like everything and everybody. I'm not a bad person because I don't like being around miserable people. I'm not a bad person because I don't want to be around people who are insecure all day, every day. I'm not a bad person because I don't want to be envious. I'm not a bad person because I don't want to be in a relationship with men who try to make me feel bad about myself because they're not happy with themselves. It's not for me. I'm not a bad person because I like certain things, like materialistically or whatever it is. Like, everything is not for everybody. And if people minded their business, all tea, all shade, it wouldn't be an issue. So keep that in mind. Don't worry about things that are not for you. Continue to focus on yourself and lock in. Focus on what you want to focus on. Don't worry about the naysayers, because once again, people worrying about us who are not for us or who don't even do nothing for you. Let's be for real. Like, none of the people in the places and things who don't do anything for you, you don't need to focus on. And if you can't do those things for you, because it's about you, it's really not about what's outside of you. Like, you will only be focused on what's outside of you until you don't focus what's inside of you. So like for me, I had to focus, like, what don't I want? Like I said, these videos are not for me. I have gone through these things, so I'm speaking from experience. But you know, once you focus on what you don't want, it does not matter, okay? So with that being said, follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. When you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, I will probably be going live. If you guys want me to go live, excuse me, I'm a lady, I just burped. Let me know if you guys want to go for and discuss these things. If not, just make sure you guys are following me, turning your post notifications on, and you're subscribed. And if you're interested in a service in a session and you just want to like practice, or you need help or like assistance and you didn't like put it in the notes, or maybe you're a little bit like shy, book your service in a session. The website is in the description. But I love you. You're loved. You're not alone. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.